guys, I just thought I would just be spontaneous and hop on this camera and really have a chat about how do you celebrate other people's life wins and life moments when you're going through a hard time. And I don't think this is shared a lot. I personally am going through a really hard time, and I won't share it in this video, but you know, I feel really lost and alone, and it's not something that everyone has gone through, so it's very hard to voice out this sadness or this emotion, because you know, I really don't want to be a downer. I really hate it when I'm sharing my problems over and over again with people, you know, and I'm trying my best to deal with it, especially because I really believe that the only person that can help me out is God. Like, my friends can give me my friends can give me comfort, they can, you know, be there with me and spend time with me, and I'm so grateful for that. But the only person that can really help me with this pain that I feel is God, and how I'm going to deal with it, right? And so it's really hard, you know, when other people are celebrating joyful moments like, you know, getting a new job, or like having a baby, or like getting married, and I'm here and I really want to celebrate with them, but it's so hard because looking at that just increases that pain or that ache. And I think that's something that I want to talk about today, and how we can manage that, you know. So I know a lot of people who have lost their jobs, who have been jobless, who have been struggling financially. Like, how do you celebrate if your friend has gotten a new job and you've been struggling for like the last year? You know what I mean? Or how do you celebrate a friend who can afford a new home and you've been struggling to even save up and you can't even buy yourself a new home, right? I do feel like there are so many moments where you're just like, oh my gosh, like, I love you as a friend and I'm so happy for you, but I'm struggling with my own pain, and to celebrate you I have to put my own pain aside, but sometimes it's just not possible, you know. And I guess that's what I'm dealing with today. I'm not sure if you can empathize with that, and I don't even want to put crying videos up on the internet, but I think it's real life, you know. I think the first thing that I always remind myself is that we are all going through different journeys in life, and my timing and my life timeline might be so different from someone else's timeline. Like, someone could have had a kid at 20, someone could have had a kid at 30, someone could have had a kid at 40, and someone could have had a kid at 50 or even 60, you know. And they might have gone through like a lot of difficulties having a kid. They might have chosen to adopt, but everyone's life is so different. And so I think that's the one thing that really keeps me grounded, is the fact that I cannot dictate the timeline of my life, and I cannot have the exact timeline as someone else. You know what I mean? So whether it's about my career, whether it's about getting a new home, whether it's about where I'm supposed to be at this stage in life, my timeline is different from other people, and I have to just stop comparing. And that's my first word to you today. Stop comparing yourself with other people. You were made so differently. There is no one else in the world that is going to be like you, from your personality to your passions, to like your life experiences. We might go through similar life experiences, but there are always things that make us unique. How we've grown up, the family we've grown up in, the environment we've grown up in, we are so different, and we are made so uniquely. There is no one else in the world like us. And so if there is no one else in the world like you, how can you expect your timeline of life to be the same as someone else's? Take comfort in the fact that it's going to be super different. You might have reached a certain point in life faster than other people, slower than other people, but actually, relatively, there is no fast, there is no slow, there is no early, there is no late. You have your own timeline, and you have to be ready in your journey before you even hit that particular moment. And so I don't even feel as sad anymore because now I've just reminded myself that my timeline is different from anyone else's, and this is my journey to make, right? And I guess that's the second point. We sometimes think like, oh, you know, if only my life was like this, like if only I had this job, if only I had this car, if only I had this house, if only I had this amount of money, if only I had a kid, you know, if only I had a husband, if only I had a boyfriend. But guys, when that happens and that if only comes, it's not like a movie and it's not like a fairy tale, and that's not the end of the story. You hit that point in time, let's say you get a boyfriend, and life still goes on. And life isn't going to be perfect or beautiful just because you hit that if only. People struggle and they don't show it, right? Like, if only I had a baby. Boom, baby comes and okay, my life changes, right? Your whole life schedule changes, your relationship with other people changes, your priorities change. Like, you have to change your entire life to revolve around this child who you have to now look after and watch after and grow with them throughout their entire lifespan. Like, your whole perception of life changes. It's not just a if only I had this, then this happens. Your life isn't going to be beautiful and perfect. Don't look at it in that sense. Like, don't think about, oh my gosh, if only this happened, right? If only my prayers were answered, if only God gave me what I wanted. But it's more about, after you get it, what's going to happen to you then? Are you truly ready? You know, I'm just going to share this on camera. Like, I felt really alone and I felt really lonely, and I was like, okay, if there's a cat in the house or a pet in the house, I'm gonna feel so much better, right? And so what I did was I went to the SPCA and I adopted a cat. And that, honestly guys, that was so scary. Like, the first day I had the cat, I was really excited, but she was so scared. She was mewing constantly. She was just fearful. She wouldn't even let me touch her. I spent a ton of money. I'd set a whole space up for her. You know, I'm gonna train her just like my friends did. She's gonna start using the toilet. She's gonna be roaming free in the house. I'm gonna have a pet to love. A pet's gonna love me back. But I think like the first day in, I was so stressed out from having her in the house because I was just constantly worried about her. Does she have enough food? Is she comfortable in this space that I've carved out for her? Is she going to jump out a window? Because I hadn't cat-proofed my house at that point in time and I was going to do it and I couldn't sleep. I was crying my eyes out. I'm so worried for her. I'm going to be a bad cat mom. I slept maybe like 3 hours the first night. I was just worried about her because she was mewing through the night. There was nothing wrong with her. She just wanted company, but I had to sleep. And because I didn't get that sleep, the next day I felt even worse. I was just crying and crying. I'm feeding her. I've opened the cage. She doesn't want to come out. I can't touch her. Being a cat owner wasn't what I expected. It's not like, if only I had a cat, my life would be perfect. In our minds, that's what we think, and that's what they teach you in movies, in TV shows. You know, it's happy ever after. And then they don't even show you what happens. Like, what happens after Cinderella married her prince? They don't show you. They don't show you real life. So real life is something happening and life carrying on. Just going back to the cat story, I spent so much time sitting with her and coaxing her and getting used to me. And when she finally came out on the 4th day, I just put my hand out. I allowed her to, you know, like, let me stroke her. She didn't even let me touch her. She would just jump at me. But, you know, she started like rubbing herself against my leg. We're getting to a friendly situation, right? So I put my hand there and she just bites me. Out of nowhere, she just bites me. I don't even touch her and she bites me. I'm not ready for this because this bite feels like she's rejecting me. And I start crying again. The next time comes around, a bit more wary. I'm like, please just don't bite me. You know, I put my hand there, she strokes herself against me, she strokes herself against my leg, and I'm like, okay, we have a good thing going. Right, I feed her, I give her snacks. Okay, great. Put my hand out again, she strokes herself against me, and then suddenly, she scratches me. And like, I still have the scratches here. Guys, I can't deal with this. I start crying again. And apparently, as a cat owner, what they don't tell you is that you have to be ready for scratches and bites. This cat is giving me low-key anxiety. I have to worry for her like I'm worrying for a baby or a different person. And I just wasn't sleeping well. I cried every single day she was at home. I don't want to ignore her and I don't want to feel this disdain and anger towards her. And so I found my cat a different owner after 4 days. This owner, I was so blessed because a friend of mine introduced me to her. She and her family have had 3 different cats and they've passed away of old age, and they were to consider a new cat. Come have a look at my cat. And they spent about an hour and a half here in my house with the cat. So there were 5 of them. They came over to my house, they played with her, and they adopted her, and I'm so grateful for them doing that. But what I'm trying to tell you is that it's not perfect. Like, you can't think to yourself, if only this happens, then my life will be perfect, because most of the time that's not the case. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you wanna celebrate your friends but you're not sure how to, remind yourself not to compare yourself with your friends and where they are in life. Remind yourself that even if you were put into the same situation, it's not going to make your life perfect. Life isn't just suddenly going to be 100% beautiful and la-di-da, you're going to live happily ever after for the next 30 or 50 years of your life. That's not how it works. So when you want to celebrate your friends, just think about how grateful you are for your friends or your family, what they've done for you. How can you be happy for them? I think like when you remind yourself about these 2 things that I've just shared, and you ground yourself and you realize how different life is for everyone, then you'll be able to give yourself a better perspective of how you should look at the world, and then lift your spirits, be grateful, give thanks, just be so grateful. I'm so grateful today for my life. I'm so grateful that I have a healthy body. I'm so grateful that I have this beautiful house. I have a roof over my head. I'm so grateful for my family members. I'm so grateful for my friends who are spending time with me, who want to go out for meals with me, who are always checking in on me, who are willing to listen to my lamentations. And when I remind myself what I'm grateful for, instead of wallowing in my sorrow, I am rejigging my mind. I am looking at the positive instead of the negative. I'm telling myself, okay, cast aside the negativity. Stop thinking about all these sadness and what's making you sad. Really look at the positive aspects, and you have so much to be grateful for. I have work, I have clients, I have money. I am not struggling, I am not living on the streets. Like, compare yourself to the people who are worse off than you, and you'll realize how great your life is. And when you reach that stage where you're so thankful and grateful, you can then go on and celebrate with the ones you love for what they're happy for. Go out and buy something for your friend who's celebrating their new job, buy something for your friend who's celebrating their new baby, and go be joyful with them, be glad with them. You're celebrating their life. Life is not just about you, it's about the people around you, and it's about the people who make up your community. And if you can't celebrate with them, what is life? Go write down what you're grateful for and stick it on your wall and just look at it. Look at your 2 hands, look at your 2 feet, and be grateful for that. You can stand, you can type, you have a computer, you have a desk, you have a job, you have work, you have people who love you, you have people who just check in on you. There's so much to be grateful for. I am so grateful for this view. I am so grateful for how beautiful Singapore is. I am so grateful that the sun is rising and the sun is setting, and that I am breathing. Like, I could be dead today, but I have the energy and the opportunity to give back to people and to make my mark in the world today. So even when I am sorrowful, I am still joyful. I am still grateful. Like, I'm so grateful for everything that has been given to me, and I hope that you're grateful too. Tell yourself, my timeline is different from someone else's timeline. I am so different, and I cannot expect myself to be on the same timeline as anyone else. Because I'm in a season of pain right now. I've been meditating on this verse. It's Deuteronomy 8 verse 2. And you shall remember always all the ways which the Lord your God has led you these 40 years in the wilderness, so that he might humble you and test you, to know what was in your heart, in your mind, and whether you would keep his commandments or not. When I'm in such a difficult period, I really need to remind myself of my past difficult periods, and how in those difficult moments, especially like last year 2020, I grew so much and I learned so much, and he really strengthened me, and he really showed me what was important. And so when I'm in a difficult season again, I look back on my previous difficult season and what I've learned and how far I've come, and I just remind myself, he is with me in this wilderness. He led me through my previous season of wilderness, and He will do it again. He is doing this to humble me so that I know, like, life is not perfect. I don't know everything, but He is really trying to open my heart and make me, like, when I'm sad like this, I feel like it's so much easier for me to go to God and so much easier for me to ask for help. Because like if I'm in a proud place and I have everything that I need and everything that I want, I'm just like, nothing can touch me and I am high and mighty. Do you know, like, it's so hard for you to humble yourself in that high and mighty position. It's so hard for you to break open and to listen to true wisdom and for you to change. And so take this difficult period as a learning opportunity for you to change for the better. I think I'm just going to close with Psalm 1 verses 2 to 3. But His delight is in the law of the Lord, and in His law He meditates day and night. So, you know, if you're a believer, go meditate over His word day and night. He, you know, us, will be like a tree firmly planted by streams of water. So there will always be streams of water next to you. You will always be provided for, which yields its fruit in its season. So there are different seasons. There are seasons where you will yield fruit. There are seasons of wilderness. There are seasons of difficulty. Life will not be perfect all the time. Just remember that. You will have valleys and you will have mountains, and that is what makes life interesting, unfortunately. And its leaf does not wither. So despite different seasons, your leaf will not wither. Why? He will provide for you. There are streams by you. He will give you what you need so that you will not wither and you will not fall and you will not die. And in whatever He does, He prospers. So, you know, if you meditate on the word of the Lord day and night, just remember, you will prosper. You're just going through a difficult season right now. Just keep going on, keep climbing on. You might feel like you're in a valley right now, but you're going to go into a mountain soon, and you got to keep climbing, and you got to realize you're not alone. Everyone else could be struggling, but you're not alone. Don't be afraid to reach out to someone and share your sadness or your fear, but make sure you share them with the right people, because I only share them with people who, you know, I know are going to motivate me correctly, who have the right wisdom or the words of wisdom to give me. So yeah, if you're going through something today and maybe you want prayer, maybe you want someone to listen to you, feel free to leave a comment below, and I hope this video spoke to you and gave you the comfort that it needs. You're not alone. I'm here with you. We're struggling together, but don't give up. There's ups and downs in life. Just don't give up. Keep pressing on. I promise you, you will see the light. Ask for help. Don't be afraid. Everyone is struggling, and you, just as much as I want to help you, I also want people to help me. So it's an exchange. It's a give and take. Go help people and ask for help back. Like, don't be afraid to ask. And I love you. Be blessed. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.